We are live right here with a big-time wrestler, big name, Nathan Tomasello. He's a four-time Ohio State champ, three-time Big Ten champ, four-time All-American national champ, third at the U.S. Open and the trials, right? And
Yeah.
I think a very impressive stat about you is never placing lower than third at nationals. And I think, man, I just think that that is awesome, and it's a very high quality level, like wrestling for 4 years straight. So yeah, Nate, how is everything going?
Pretty good. Just it's a weird time, so just kind of enjoying a little bit of the downtime, connecting with friends, and just taking day by day. So, but glad to be on the podcast, and just glad to have just an opportunity to share some of my thoughts on things.
Yeah, and me and Tyler are very lucky to have a guest as at the same level or a higher level, honestly, like you on here. So it's nice to have that.
Definitely.
We appreciate it.
Thanks.
So where are you now? Ohio?
Yeah, right now I'm in Columbus. Been training a little bit this week with a couple of guys that are down here, and we've been finding some mats kind of all over the place. So
yeah, how is training going?
Pretty good. Just working on just different things, enjoying kind of, because it's not really stressed right now because you don't know when the next competition is. So you just kind of like hanging out and just trying playing with stuff and learning from one another, So
yeah, and also how is like the strength training with Coach Dustin Myers? Because man, I love his Twitter and like his social media, because I don't know, he's just so like hyped up all the time and like seems to love wrestling.
Yeah, he's we met his first year on the Buckeyes. It was my first year on the team, and when we first met, I mean, we had the same kind of mentality in a sense where we're just giving max effort and everything, and he's just someone that has a lot of energy and he loves what he's doing. So
yeah, and
he
I can see that.
Yeah, cares a lot about the guys, and now he's transitioned a little bit into the role of kind of like an RTC strength coach, and so that's been cool.
Did Dustin wrestle in college or no?
No, he didn't wrestle. Yeah, he's just a big fan.
He like does seem like a wrestler though. That's for sure.
Yeah, he did some boxing.
Oh, really?
That's cool.
Yeah, he did some amateur boxing and stuff like that, and then him and another guy, Corey Gregory, they started up their own gym and stuff like that, and it's been really, really successful. Yeah. So he's training a bunch of people, making some good money on that and his ebooks and stuff like that. So
yeah, I actually saw on your feed boxing video. Is that maybe in the future or like fighting?
Yeah, I mean, I've always, I guess since when I was younger, I was training some boxing just to get different cross training in, and I can see myself doing some amateur boxing fights, maybe trying to get my golden gloves in boxing. I don't know about MMA, maybe. That's a question mark. So, yeah.
Yeah, what are you weighing now?
About 140 right now.
Really?
139. Yeah.
Yeah, wait.
That's typically my walking around weight.
Yeah. In the UFC, Tyler, who is the champ at 135? Can Nate take him?
I would think so. Yeah. I can see it. I can't remember the name though. I can see who it is. I just can't remember the name.
Cody Garbrandt is 45, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty tough. I always like watching him. So, NATO, tell me, how did you start wrestling? Like, which grade level? How young?
Yeah, I had a buddy that convinced me to go with him to practice, and at the time, um, I was doing other sports, and I no one in my family wrestled, so I had no clue what wrestling was. And long story short, I went to the first practice, and it was a lot different than I expected. Because you see the stuff on TV, and you think you're jumping off tight ropes and in people's chairs, and then we're doing drop steps. I'm like, what the heck? So I wasn't sure what to think, and that was in actually like January of my 4th grade year, and then
Okay.
I went back, and honestly, it was like another couple weeks, and then it was like the end of the season, and I made the district tournament, and so that was kind of a cool like accomplishment, I would say, my first year. And I wasn't sure if I was going to honestly go back, and then kind of have my youth coach convince me to go, and he saw something in me that summer, and he's like, you're not leaving this program. And so he ended up putting me with some tough partners, and long story short, he believed in me, and it made me believe more in myself, and I started doing better and just kept learning and growing, and it was great.
Yeah. And you won 4 state titles, huh? That's very impressive.
Yeah. I after my freshman year, I decided just to really focus on the wrestling, and it was definitely a big lifestyle change because I was doing other sports and wanted to put everything I had into that career. I could see myself doing well in college at that point, and wanted to take each state championship by itself, and yeah, I mean, I was really, really intense at that point, and wanted to get the most out of what I've been given talent-wise.
Yeah. Well, who was your toughest state finals match?
That's a good one. Probably freshman year, actually. I wrestled the same kid at sectionals, districts, and state, and each time was just a little bit closer.
Yep.
And the kid was ranked number 2. And so you're in the same sectional, so you're wrestling the same guy 3 weeks in a row. And it's just like, I think it's challenging as the guy that's winning to continue to win at the same score as you did last time, just because it benefits the guy that loses usually to make adjustments, and improvements. Yeah. So my finals match was
hard
like
to beat the same
8-5
over again.
Yeah. So.
Well, one of the questions I was going to ask, because I had read an article about a couple of your influences, like coming through wrestling, and I was going to have you talk about Eric Burnett's influence on you coming up through. Because I read where you went to a lot of his camps and everything early on.
Yeah, Eric's one of the most genuine guys I've ever met. I mean, he literally just wants to help people. Anyone that comes through his doors, whether it's multiple time state champ or a first-year wrestler, he's going to give you time to really help you out. And that selflessness is just something that I really took from him, and just his leadership, and his positivity. And he was probably I think he's the best coach in high school wrestling. And he showed me a lot with hand fighting, and just he was someone that really, really cared a lot, and yeah. I mean, it was just like he was someone that was like a father to me when I was younger. So,
who was Eric?
He was a club coach, and he's the head coach of Elyria High School in Elyria, Ohio, and he runs the Burnett Train Wrestling Club as well.
Oh, I didn't catch that article, so thanks for telling me, Ty.
I got the link for you. I can send it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read it. When did you first meet Eric?
So my youth coach actually had me meet him, and he had known him, I guess, from tournaments or something. He's like, hey, like, I think I've had you've gone past where I can continue to help you, and I want you to get help from this other coach that could allow you to continue to improve your wrestling and grow. And so that's kind of how I met Eric. And it was like in 7th grade that I met him. And then he was my club coach all the way up. So I'd usually go to my high school practice and then the club 2 or 3 times a week after practice.
Nice.
So
2 days that young, huh? Because honestly, I was that same way, like high school practice and then club practice, then I'm working on the farm. So yeah, I kind of had that like same thing happening.
yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. So Nate, tell me, what made you choose my favorite college other than Lincoln College? Sorry. What made you choose the Ohio State?
Yeah, I had taken all my officials beforehand, and it honestly felt like the right place. I had known a couple people that were going there. I looked up to a couple guys. I knew they had a good RTC program and that I wanted to eventually get into. And I also I like the coaches. I mean, I liked Lou Roselli a lot, and I liked Coach Ryan a lot. And it was just a great opportunity. Program was up and coming. Kyle Snyder signed and Bo Jordan signed, and it was just like it just made sense, and it's close to home. I've always been close to my family, and so it was only about 2 hours from where I lived originally, and it was awesome.
Yeah, what makes Coach Tom Ryan like just amazing coach in D1 wrestling?
His love and passion, he cares about every guy, and he generally cares about helping each person and just going as much as he can to help the program. And he tries really hard in whatever he does, and he's smart too. He's a good leader, and he's really good at just social influence, like talking to a bunch of people and knowing what to say and influencing. And I think that's how he's built the program, like he's just his leadership.
Yeah, I actually met Coach Ryan and Jeff Jaggers and Coach what was his name? Heskett, what was it? Joe Heskett?
Joe, yeah.
Yeah, so like I actually went to a Buckeye camp like maybe in 5th or 6th grade. Man, I just loved it. I loved the campus, the coaches, the atmosphere, and honestly, I was a fan ever since then. So yeah, I'm a huge Buckeye fan and am still.
That's awesome. Yeah. They're doing some good things here, They the coaches, they have a good staff. The coaches here, they make a good team.
Yeah, and I back in the day, Jeff Jaggers, a finals match, how his ankle rolled and he caught the guy in the cradle. I can't remember who it was, but man, it was a great finals match, and I loved watching that.
I remember watching that one.
Yeah, who the heck was it?
I don't remember who it was.
Guy, right? Because I think it was an old Dominion guy.
Yeah. But I don't remember the name, though. I just remember watching it being like, that is what I would do.
Yeah. His Wi-Fi is getting pretty sketchy, huh?
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, like it's...
A little bit.
Honestly, I can still hear you.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Video is just like just off.
In and out. Yeah.
Well, one of my questions I was going to ask you was how big of an influence like Logan Stieber was, like right before you got there, because I know he's a little bit older than you, and just looking at that lineup at the time, like right before you got there, and then by the time you're actually there, it's his senior year. Just seems like it would have been like really special of a time there at the program. So I was just going to see if you had any thoughts on that.
Yeah, Logan was, growing up, we were in the same club together, and so he was always older than me, but I just remember watching him and seeing how well he did success-wise in the sport, and he was humble, and, I looked up to him, and when he started winning national championships at Ohio State, I was definitely watching that, and it was influential on me going there and believing that I could do the same in a sense, and also build something pretty special at Ohio State,
Yeah.
So he's had an influence on the program for sure.
Absolutely, man. 4 national titles, and man, Stieber was tough on top. His bars and claws. Yeah, man. I would say top 5 college rider of all time. Like maybe with Kyle Dake, like a great rider. AJ Schott from Burrow was a great rider, but Stieber is definitely maybe at the top of my list. His bars were filthy.
Yeah, he just had a good feel, a rider when just by how they just feel comfortable there, and they know how to sink their hips and get the right weight on you, and just they feel comfortable. They know kind of every move in advance that you're gonna do, or at least it feels like it from the bottom, and they're just, they're good. I felt that when I wrestled Lezak, I was just like, dang, I do not want to go bottom. And it's probably the same with guys wrestling with Logan. It's like you're gonna get hurt. So it's a huge game changer if you're that good on top.
Yeah. What is Logan doing now? Because I saw like a couple seasons ago, he like called it quits, and I was kind of sad just being a Stieber fan, but yeah.
Yeah, he's running a wrestling academy through the new facility.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's doing that right now, and I think he's really enjoying that role of everything. So
how about Hunter?
Hunter is a volunteer assistant out in Oklahoma.
With Coach Roselli, right?
Yeah, Lou.
Yeah. That's awesome. I always loved watching, the Stieber brothers grapple. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So so let's talk about your national championship, your freshman year. Tell me everything. That full season, that whole tournament experience, the quarterfinals versus Corey Mines, semis versus Waters, and then I think finals versus Zeke Moisey. If my research is correct.
Yeah, it was a special tournament. I think before that, leading up to it, I was in the Big Tens. I hadn't beaten anyone in the top 10 that year.
Oh, really?
I
did not know that.
Yeah, so I wasn't ranked super high. Ended up beating Delgado in the semis, and that was like my first big win. And I wrestled Gilman. I beat him so the semis was Delgado and then Gilman in the finals. And those 2 wins really gave me a lot of confidence. You win the Big Ten tournament, you're a shot to win it. And it just gave me a lot of confidence. The ball was rolling, and just I felt really good going into the tournament. And I knew Waters was undefeated at the time, but I felt confident that I could beat him. We wrestled earlier in the season, and he caught me with a broomstick. And I stormed back and almost beat him. And I was like, man, he knows I'm coming for him. So, long story short, it was a tight one, but I ended up getting 2 takedowns in the third period and beat him. And that was huge. The last takedown happened with like 5 seconds left.
Yeah.
And that one was one of my most memorable matches at the national tournament. And mine we had wrestled earlier in the year in the quarterfinals.
He was so strong, man, dude. Like
Strong, right?
He's a college teammate of mine back in the day, but man, just so stocky and so strong.
Yeah, and I caught him with a couple tilts on top, and just blew open the match, you know. And I think once that happens, you either have a guy that's gonna fight you to the end, or just kind of start continuing to allow you to get it. And felt like I was on a roll, and so I was able to get the tech in the quarters, and like I said, that just the momentum of everything, you know. And then I get Waters in the semis, and then Moisey comes out of nowhere, beats a bunch of guys on the opposite side. I remember watching a lot of his video that evening in the morning, just trying to do some self-assessment on what he did. And he just was really good at staying super low in his stance and not giving up and allowing the guys to be impatient and try to grab him, and he'd shoot right underneath him. And it happened with Gilman. Gilman tried to grab him twice, and he just literally as you reach for him, that's when he shot underneath you. So I knew when he went down.
Gilman, right? He pinned him.
30 seconds left. Yeah, like 37. I don't know. So under a minute. But long story short, I watched that, so I was like, man, every time he drops down, I got to get in all fours, or at least get my head as low as his, so he doesn't get underneath me, because he has that spike of a shot, and if he gets to my legs, I knew it was going to be challenging. And so the match goes on, and I get a couple of takedowns, and I knew I was up by like 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, he comes out in front and tries to do a mixer on me. I was like, oh crap! I just needed to get out of my back real quick, and ended up getting 2 count. Unfortunately, I was able to get out, and then able to respond real quick, and then score on him again. And it just was at the end of the match, it was like Lou was like, "You got 15 seconds, stay in position," and just like count down, and just it was just a feeling that was just super just exciting and just grateful, you know. Like, you put so much energy and effort into the season, and especially as a freshman, you know, I think a lot of people counted me out, and just was able to perform at my best when I had it, you know. And I had a great roommate as well that allowed me to kind of stay relaxed during the tournament. He was our heavyweight at the time, and that made an infinite difference too, you know, because there's so much stress. I feel like, not stress, but just the tournament itself is up and down, and so you have to control your emotions and take some of the unknowns out of it. And Nick was my roommate. He just did a good job of just allowing me to relax in between sessions, and just make sure, even going into the finals, my headphones broke, and I usually listen to music. He gave me his headphones, allowed me to relax, and it just was great. You know, I was able to just get zoned in and ready to go, you know.
Yeah, and honestly, it was a awesome run as a freshman. And you know, something that I've been wanting to know is, like, after winning a national title your freshman year, you know, talk to me, you know, about the feelings of placing third your sophomore, junior, and senior year, losing in the national tournament, and like just toughening up and saying, listen, man, I'm going to come back and place as high as I possibly can in the contests. And I want our viewers to know this, like that NATO came back and placed third 3 years in a row, which is just,
it's so hard to do,
insane. And I just I think it's awesome. So tell us, like, thoughts, feelings.
Yeah, man, the toughest part is getting your dream crushed, I guess, or just losing in heartbreakers. I mean, I felt like both my sophomore and junior year, there was definitely one or two positions that just didn't go my way, and just things happened in the match. And then just being able to regroup and know that you're fighting now more than ever for just your team, and then also for your character and who you are, like a lot of guys, they lose and they're like, screw it, I'm not trying as hard, and there you go, take sixth. And even if they All-American, it's just like, I don't know, it always rubbed me the wrong way, because I was like, man, like, get the points, and still, like, are you resting? Why are you resting? Like, that's the thing. Like, you want to always put 100% effort into it. And so that was kind of my thinking on that. And just, yeah, I mean, I felt like being the captain on the team and knowing that I always started the Buckeyes off. I wanted to go out each tournament and place the highest I could, whether it was winning it or if I lost, taking the next best thing. And so it is important.
Yeah, and you wrestled 133 your junior year, right? And came back down for your senior year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I thought.
Yeah. 33 was awesome. If I had to do it again, I'd probably have stayed up at 33 my senior year. Really? But it worked best for the team to drop back down, and I was determined, to do what I felt was the best thing. And yeah, I wasn't afraid to be tough in that sense and make it back down. But like I said, when you're lifting heavy and eating throughout the season, it's so much better, man. When I become a coach, that's the thing I'm going to tell my wrestlers. It's just like, look, like, lift, get big, and just don't cut as much weight, because it shows. My junior year, I was pretty small out in Vegas in like November, December time, and I felt like by the end of the year I was one of the biggest guys, because just months of dieting, cutting weight for other guys. I wasn't losing more than 7-8 pounds. My natural weight, like I said, was like 140, 141. So I was just like eating pretty good and lifting and just felt good,
Yeah. Who beat you that year at nationals, your junior season? Because I can't,
Yeah. So Clark caught me with a Merkel twice in the match.
Yep.
And is the Magic Merkel. So I mean, it was like crazy. So that match was tough.
Corey beat Seth Gross that year?
He did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then he lost in the finals, or was that his senior year? Yeah.
He won the finals. That was his senior year. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he had lost in the finals the 2 previous years. So.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Is Corey wrestling still or no? Because I honestly haven't seen his name.
Yeah, he's been dealing with injuries. I feel like
it's like shoulder, right? Like was always.
Yeah. He go through some bad injuries. It's tough, man. And I've been through the same thing. So I don't know. I think he's still competing. I don't know. Like, it's tough to say.
Yeah, he was always tough.
I was gonna ask, just kind of talk about, because after you got done competing in college, you obviously transitioned to the national level, the senior level, and just talk about making your first national team in 2017, and going 3-1 at the World Team Trials in Lincoln that year.
Yeah, that was a cool experience. I mean, that was in between my junior senior year of college, and I cut back down from 33 to 57 kilos, and I remember wrestling Ramos at the Open and having a really tight one with him there, and then at the trials, ended up wrestling Gilman. That was another super tight one, and ended up losing right at the end, but still came back and beat Graf in order to make the team, and it was a really good tournament. Things that went really well with my own wrestling, but then also just a couple things and just progressing each wrestling movement, and each knowing like if he gets you in this, and just biggest thing is just continuing to control the positions, even if you're not looking to score per se, being able to still try to win the hand fight and continue to be aggressive in that sense. I feel like in that match, I tried to hold on at the end, and you can't do that in wrestling. You guys always keep going forward, and it was just a great learning experience and just a good performance. Something that was really cool.
Yeah, your Wi-Fi was starting to fail. Who did you beat in the finals there? Graf?
Yeah, I beat Graf in that tournament.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was also the same year who placed third at the Open, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I had Ramos had that tournament in the semis. I had beaten Magalunas in the quarters, and that was a good match. Yeah, and then my junior year, that the semis. It was weird. I feel like Ramos he gets some of the craziest calls, but he's able to find ways to win in that match. It's like it was 3-3, and they ended up getting like a point to tie it, and then it came down to criteria, and I was like, yeah.
So wait, you have wrestled Ramos, Gilman, and Spencer Lee, huh?
Yeah, all the Iowa guys. Sure. I've won against all of them. I've always lost. I've lost against all of them as well.
Is Spencer Lee probably like the biggest challenger for you now? You would say, or what?
Yeah, I mean, we've had good rivalry. Same thing with Gilman. I mean, they're tough. I mean, they're hard-nosed. They stay in good position. They both have different things that they excel at. I mean, Spencer is glue hands. You grab him, his hands are so. I think they're big, and they're also his grip is pretty incredible. So you wouldn't expect it, but that's like one of the best things he has. I think that helps him with his riding as well on top. So, and he's quicker than you think too. He doesn't look like a pretty quick guy, but he is some quick shots. And Gilman's going to be really rigid and flexing and staying sturdy position the whole time and hand fight you to death. So
Iowa guys do.
Tough. Right.
Guys are big hand fighters.
Yep.
Yeah. So
you wrestled Spencer last year, right? If I remember.
Yeah, he wrestled at the Open finals. So that was a good one. He always starts out hot. So if you can kind of weather the storm early on, that's where I feel like you can get the W, because he's a front runner and he wants to score early because he feels really comfortable when he's leading. And which I noticed, I guess, the last couple times I've wrestled him, and the time that I beat him, it was tight for most of the match, and I was able to score late, and that's kind of the big thing. I felt like if we wrestle again, it would be key is just being really, really aggressive, or ready for him to be really aggressive early on.
Yeah. And how do you favor more, folk style or freestyle?
I like freestyle more, just
Really?
because, I mean, with Ohio, I don't know, we always were on our feet a lot when I was growing up. You didn't really wrestle too much top bottom. I always would kick guys. So freestyle is more primarily Freestyle is more primarily neutral, even though you're trying not to get your back exposed. But I like that, and I like the step out rule. You have to be in the center the whole time, stuff like that. So, and you can be more creative, in a sense. I think there's a little bit more creativity, I think, in freestyle than in folk style. Maybe I'm wrong. So there's less, I feel like, things you can't do in freestyle.
Oh,
you can lock your hands.
Funk.
Throw.
Guys can't pull through, or
Yeah. So.
It is starting to act funny again, huh, Tyler? Like.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
It's all right though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is better now. Like, I can see him clear. So, NATO, tell me, how's your diet now? Is it good, like the thing it was at Ohio State, or no?
I've been eating a little bit more lately. Just because, like I said, just kind of enjoying a little bit of the downtime. So I'm usually really strict when it comes down to preparing to compete it. But, like I said, I think it's a balance. Life's a balance, like if you're always eating super clean, I think at least I've felt that it just, you kind of get a little bit burned out, and I feel like you always have to have a little bit of junk to kind of keep you sane,
True.
So so my favorite thing's ice cream, so I usually have some ice cream.
That is so funny. I was actually told to ask you what your favorite kind of ice cream is.
Yeah, butter pecan. That
Really?
and cookies and cream is my number 2.
Butter pecan.
Yeah,
Good one.
That's
not a very common pick either. I don't like.
No, it's not.
People don't usually pick that one. I like it.
thanks. Yeah, butter pecans. I think probably because my mom liked it, I started having it. So you kind of pick up stuff from your parents.
Nope.
So.
All right, it's working better now.
So I guess my next question for you would be: out of all of the places that you've been able to compete across all different levels, just what's been your favorite place? Is it just wrestling at home at Ohio State University, or is it like some other tournament, or because you've been a lot of places?
Believe it or not, my favorite tournament I've wrestled at was the Ironman in high school at Walsh.
Yeah.
For a couple reasons. One, it was literally in the backyard of where I wrestled in high school at CBCA. It was like literally I walked to Walsh. So I had a bunch of support in that sense. And I like that, like, it was in this stuffy gym and people were on the mats, literally right next to the mats. And it just, that I don't know, it's just that feeling of just people all on top of you and just the support in Ohio was just like.
Yeah, I like going back and watching those videos because it literally looks like they're just like right on top of you like the whole time.
And listen, a major difference from high school to college is that sideline heckling. Because in high school, man, the mats are just always so
like right there.
And there's people chirping. And college, it opens in tournaments and dual meets, not like that, I feel. Or unless somebody's wrestling in Carver Hawkeye, then maybe.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. How was it wrestling at Carver Hawkeye?
It's intense, honestly. That and the Rec Hall are two of the probably toughest places I've wrestled at, as far as just the people. People are just fickle, and they're yelling at you, and you're definitely in a hostile environment. And so just preparing yourself, I think, is important. The coaches would try to simulate it in the room a little bit, but it's tough to simulate that kind of environment because you get there, it's just super intense. And it's tough to describe because, the Rec Hall was similar to the Ironman, except it was in Pennsylvania where people were on the mats screaming at you. And it's just crazy because it's like I remember going there my senior year, and I didn't have the best weight cut. And we started at 25. And this kid transferred from Boise State. And it was like one of his first matches at 25. And I know you get guys that, like, when you have, like, target on your back, they're willing to do anything to score on you. And I remember him hitting me in the head and arm. And I
do
into the glass and break, like, not the glass, but just like whatever the thing was. And I just remember like that. I was like, oh crap, this ain't good. So
what was his name?
And it's just like you're fighting at that point, because I was like down by like 4, and I was just like, all right, it's gonna be a dog fight. So I ended up, it was like a 25-point match. It was like 23-13 or something. And I know we don't have that high of a score, but it's just like, so yeah,
crazy.
But yeah, I mean, people are screaming at you. They put our home fans at the smallest part of the little arena, or the smallest part, the furthest away, and it's just like, yeah.
Speaking of Boise State, how about ODU and Stanford canceling their programs? It's pretty sad stuff. I don't really.
Yeah, if this virus keeps going, who knows? You know, that's the toughest part. It's like it gives athletic departments more of a reason to keep shutting down programs. So
yeah, it's a good cover up. I saw Stanford, man. I was shocked. Honestly, their team was pretty damn good and had the most freshman national qualifiers and probably a top 10 team this next season too. I was like, man, that's pretty shocking.
Yeah, Pirelli's doing a good job. Was doing a good job with the program, and Stanford's a good place too. You're in California and the nice weather, so it's a prestigious college.
Yeah. So Tyler, should we hit him now with the speed round?
Let's hit him with a speed round.
All right, NATO or Nathan or Nate or Tomasello, let's do a speed round, man. All right, I'm gonna ask some questions, just answer quickly, or story behind it. Listen, I don't care, just speed round. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Right. Favorite movie and why?
Without a Paddle.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just a good. I think it is a good blend of adventure and comedy, and just brotherhood all wrapped up in one story. And my friend that had me go with wrestling with him, he was the first one that had me watch it with him, and I remember being like, "Wow, this is a pretty great movie." So, yeah.
Great pick.
Yeah, man, I haven't seen that in forever.
It's been. I might have to break it out now.
Your favorite genre of music?
Christian probably. Yeah, I listen to a good amount of Christian music.
Christian rock?
Yeah, Christian rock.
Like Skillet, maybe?
A little bit. One of my best friends listens to Skillet. Also, Jeremy Camp's one of my favorite music artists. He has some contemporary stuff. So, yeah, but Skillet's good.
Nice.
Yeah, honestly, my favorite rapper is I think like a Christian rapper, NF. Is like, dude, he is great. Like,
I like Lecrae.
He doesn't swear in his songs. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, he's and NF sings about stuff that matters, like with mental health or like just a good life quality stuff. He's a awesome rapper. All right, next. Who's the best coach in sports and why?
Well, that's a good one. I mean, I read John Wooden's books.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch him too much growing. I didn't really see so much of his games, but some of the books he's written and some of the things I've heard about him, he's probably one of the best coaches, I would say, for at least for the sports in general. I've learned kind of a lot just from reading his coaching style and what he's puts into his athletes and stuff like that. So for college wrestling, I would say probably Tom Ryan, just because he's been the coach for me the last 7 years now, or at least, yeah. I don't think has the most wrestling knowledge per se, but I do think he does a great job with his leadership and just understanding, I feel like, each individual wrestler.
Yeah. So,
I'm pretty sure he just put out a new book too.
What'd you say, Ty?
Yeah, he just came out with a new book. I can't remember the name of it right offhand, but I want to read it. Do you know what it is?
Yeah. Yeah, Chosen Suffering.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I actually saw that on like Twitter. He tweeted it.
It looks like it's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to purchase it honestly because I've always liked Tom Ryan. So I like see you on social media, Nate. Benching a lot of weight, squatting a lot of weight, deadlifting. Your favorite lift? Hold on.
Deadlift's probably my favorite.
Okay.
Deadlifts, yeah. Deadlift's one of my favorites. I always used to be benching, but I don't know. I think it's one of the most essential lifts for wrestling. I think in my career, I feel like that's the one that's helped me more than benching. So
yeah,
I definitely say I enjoy lifting, doing deadlifts and squats and stuff now. And it's a total body workout. You're benching, you're just getting your arms and your chest. So, but yeah.
And a lot of strength coaches have kind of opened my eyes in that aspect. Like that wrestling is like mainly pulling, like a snap down or a single leg pull in, and it's not really pushing unless like I'm shoving somebody out and maybe freestyle. But yeah, I totally agree with that. That deadlift is probably my top lift to probably teach or have my wrestler do. So yeah.
Yeah, I would say 4 things that are essential for strength, at least for wrestling, would be back or lats, upper back, and then your hips, your core, and then your grip. I think those are your 4 things that really stand out.
Core is very important because it's like it is the center. It is the nucleus, and it's just so important.
Yeah.
All right, next. Your favorite Ohio State football player?
Wow. Man, when I
past, present, it don't matter.
Ted Ginn Jr. was one of my favorites.
Yes.
He was so fast. He'd do well with the kick returns, and I liked watching him.
Yeah. I am pretty sure Ted Ginn housed the opening kickoff versus Florida and Tebow, right? Like he took back the man. I was so mad when Florida beat them, but yeah, their like team was good. Like Tebow, Aaron Hernandez.
The Florida team was loaded. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And like that sucked because it's like they're celebrating, and then next thing you know, he hurts his ankle, and he's out the rest of the time. Yeah.
So.
But man, when the Buckeyes won in 2015 in the first ever college playoff, they beat Bama and then the Ducks. Dude, I was so hyped with Cardell Jones. I was so excited.
That was wild, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah. All right. Favorite wrestling move? My guess is a lefty high C, but I'm not sure.
I would say the mixer. I'm pretty good at the mixer. Nah, it's the high crotch. I've had that one, and it's been my big go-to since I was in 8th grade, 9th grade. So.
Yeah, I could have guessed it because man, that high C is so smooth.
Thanks.
All right, so basically, during the last segment, Nate, I like to spread some positivity and like kind of end like with inspiring message, because like maybe telling us, you know, some like struggles growing up, or like college, or like now even, or like you know, just sharing a inspiring story for us and the viewers, just because you know, this like country is kind of sad right now, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, just share with us some good old positivity, man.
Yeah. I would say the biggest thing is, if you're looking into wrestling or if you want to wrestle, it's like I like I said, no one in my family wrestled, and I think that people definitely have been placed in along the journey for my own career that I can look back and be like, wow, like there's people, there's coaches and teammates that it's a brotherhood, man. And I think that's the cool thing, is just like the love of the sport, but also just being able to see the coaches that kind of helped grow your own personality, and just it's been a cool ride. And I feel like that's the cool thing about the sport, is just you meet great people, and there's just a lot of positivity in that sense, where you just got people that just really care about you, you know. And I've been just grateful in that sense, you know, where as I've gotten older and looking back at my career, it's been cool, you know. You have wins, but you also have losses, but overall, just the life lessons that you learn from it, and just the self-belief and just the confidence that no matter what, the reputation that you create is more important than the wins and losses.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. So Tyler, do you have something left for him or no?
Answered all my questions, so I just
Yeah. Hey,
thanks for
Nate.
coming on, man.
Thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate it, man.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Glad to be on. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So yeah,
Open invitation. So if you ever want to come back, you let us know.
Yeah, please do. I'll stay in touch with you.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So that now concludes our episode with Nathan Tomasello, and some big names to follow here. And I can't quite share the names yet, but man, our podcast is growing. Keep liking on Facebook, keep subscribing, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Anchor, and just so much more. So yeah, guys, me and Tyler appreciate the support, and yeah, thanks for following us, and you know, just listening. So it's awesome. It is growing. Yeah, thanks, guys.